Hi, this is Eddie Hearn and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. We're here at the Box Park Arena in Wembley, and I'm delighted to be joined by the former two-weight world champion, Pauli Malignaggi. Pauli, good afternoon. How are you doing, my man?
All right, how are you, man? I'm fresh from Heathrow, man. I'm a little bit tired, but I've just had my espresso, and I'm trying to wake up. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you for asking. Pauli, news broke out to us yesterday afternoon that you'll be joining the Sky Sports boxing announcement team. Talk to us about the decision behind that. Was that an overall long-term idea of yours?
I'm with the Boxer team. I've been with Boxer since the beginning, since they first started, since their very first show. So I've kind of been part of the growing process of the company. I remember when Ben Shalom told me about the company when it was just an idea, and really it's been really a great experience to be able to have been part of the company as it grew. And now they've got a big Sky Sports contract, and they're moving on to even bigger things. He's a bright guy, and he's done very well with the company, and it's been very impressive to watch him and the mechanism that he's made the company grow, and to watch the company be able to blossom to the point that it is now, and I think continue to blossom. So really the thought process was just to continue to grow with Boxer the way they have been. It's been a nice ride for me as well, like I said, since the very beginning. And yeah, there's the Sky Sports deal. My deal is with Boxer, but if there's things I'm going to be doing with Sky, so be it.
It's exciting times. We understand Boxer and Sky Sports are working closely together. They're on a new journey now. It's a new platform. It is looking really exciting for boxing, and it's good to see another promotion. Obviously he moved away from Eddie Hearn and the Zone, but still carried on working, bringing in good fighters, producing good fights. That's exactly what we want to see in boxing. Pauli, I know I haven't got much of your time, so I just want to jump right into the deep end here. The WBC convention the other night, two huge announcements. Start off with the Canelo and Mcgregor situation.
I think a lot of people were surprised, but really I think it was an intelligent move by Canelo. When you start to go up in weight, you've got to start picking your spots. You can't just keep fighting the top guy in every weight class, because you're risking yourself, not just physically, but you're also risking, your health. You're fighting a naturally bigger guy, so it's much more difficult to beat them anyway. I think people got spoiled with the whole Pacquiao situation. He was taking on the best guy in every weight class. There's so many weight classes. I've had my say on that, and it was whatever. I'm not going to get back into it, but I think the more realistic way you move up in weight is you kind of start to, as the more weight classes you go up, the more you got to start to be intelligent in the way you pick your opponents and you pick guys off. And I made a comparison with another interview I did that Pernell Whitaker, when he went up to the super welterweight division years ago, a few decades ago, before Julio Cesar Vasquez, he didn't fight Terry Norris. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew he was going to try to pick off a major world title with a guy he matched up well against. That's what you kind of have to do. It didn't diminish Whitaker's greatness, because it was just he wasn't of that size. I don't think Canelo was anywhere near to be a natural cruiserweight. But I think you've got to pick some guys off. The rest of the cruiserweights are difficult. The light heavyweights are very difficult, and they're all big punchers. So I actually, when I think about it, I hadn't thought of it before. Don't get me wrong. I'm just as surprised as everybody else. But when I think about it, I think it's a smart move in terms of you got to know how to play chess outside the ring and not checkers. And I think you give yourself this right here. You possibly pick up the WBC cruiserweight title, and then you're gonna have options. You can always go back down to that heavyweight if the weight class shapes up in the way you like it, or maybe not. But I think it was probably too good of an opportunity to pass up for him, and I didn't see it coming, because I'm really not familiar with all the cruiserweights. I'm thinking of major cruiserweights like Bradis and Dorticos and guys like that. And all of a sudden, there's this new guy who came in, and Makubu with the WBC title. It's it's probably not as dangerous as a Dorticos or a Bradis. It's probably, I'm not saying it's for sure a win, because it's a bigger guy and you're dealing with a lot of things, but it's a winnable fight for Canelo, I'll say that.
The WBC also stated that they will not order the heavyweight title fight between the number one mandatory Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury due to an ongoing arbitration case that they have with Dillian. It's been a long time.
What arbitration?
I have no idea what the actual arbitration is, but that was what they said at the convention.
Is it with the BC and Dillian, or
And
is
the
it with
WBC
Dillian
and from my understanding, it is with the WBC and Dillian right now. So they said they won't order that fight just as yet. But Dillian's been waiting a very long time. He's beaten some real top heavyweights. What is your thoughts on it overall, Pauli?
I think that's like one of the criminal shames of this generation. To me, the two criminal shames of this generation are Demetrius Andrade never getting a big fight in his prime, because now I think he's exited his prime, and Dillian White never getting a title shot, a world title. Guys never fought for a world title. How does Dillian White never fall for a world title? Are we kidding each other? How does a guy like that? And I'm not telling you he's the best heavyweight in the world, but he's definitely been among the best heavyweights in the world, and he deserves a chance to try to prove whether he's the best heavyweight in the world. He deserves a chance to try to prove that. He fought Joshua before Joshua won a world title. It was a good competitive fight. He lost. It was a good competitive fight. Yes, he got knocked off by Povetkin. He undid that loss with a dominant win. He was dominating even when he lost the fight to Povetkin. He just got caught, right? But I think a real shame. I think politics suck, man. Whether it's in sports or whether it's in real life, they suck.
You've been in this game. You've been in this game a long time enough to know that obviously politics plays a huge part in boxing.
The worst.
As a fan of Dillian White, what do you think he should do next? I mean, because he has been waiting around a number of years. He's taken 50-50 fights.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like he's resting on his laurels and say, okay, I've got the man. I've seen a lot of guys try to rest on their laurels until they get that title shot and try to protect their position. He's taking risk fights, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember working the Oscar Rivas fight, man, and when Oscar Rivas was considered very dangerous. And didn't Oscar Rivas just win that Bridgerweight title now? Did he?
Did, yeah.
So, you know, whatever that is. But nonetheless, I mean, Rivas was dangerous. Rivas was dangerous when they fought. I mean, I remember he was undefeated coming in. I mean, Dillian had absolutely no reason to fight Oscar Rivas when he fought him, and he took him on and he beat him. I mean, I don't know. He's done everything you can ask of him. And again, I'm not telling you he's the best heavyweight in the world, because I really believe Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. But I think it's a terrible shame when a guy gives so much of himself for the sport, for your entertainment. He's never in a bad fight. Dillian's never in a bad fight, you know. Maybe that Helenius fight, but that's because Helenius was like just going. I remember Helenius was going from one corner to the other, not really working, you know. But look, even that one looks good now because of what Helenius did to Adam Kornacki, right? So even that one looks good. It's a shame, man. It's a shame.
One thing I've always enjoyed about listening to you, whether you've done interviews on Sky Sports with other platforms, is your take on celebrity boxing, such as TikTokers and YouTube. We saw what went down with you and Cori B, but we've got another YouTuber taking on a professional boxer, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I want to get your opinion. Do you think Jake Paul is unsettling the boxing world right now?
He might be, but listen, shout out to Cori B. He went for it. I didn't think he would go through with it. He went all the way through with it. Call him crazy, but you know what? He's got more balls than most of you guys out there that do the trolling. As for Tommy Fury and Jake Paul, listen, I have my thoughts on Jake Paul, but he's working hard. He definitely wouldn't be as popular if it wasn't for his celebrity status. We know that. But Fury's not a boxer. He just has the Fury last name. I mean, you can. I thought Fury was like the Fury fighting family, which he is bloodline-wise. Obviously, he's Tyson's brother. But I was tricked. I was duped. Maybe probably like a lot of people are duped into thinking this Fury kid was like the rest of the family, and that he's probably got a bunch of amateur fights. Like came up the ladder boxing. I saw him box. There's no way he's got any experience. I mean, he can't box. He's just as much of a boxer as Jake Paul is. It's just his last name happens to be Fury. Am I wrong? I mean, Tommy, what is his name? Tommy Fury. Well, I mean, yeah, we have 10 amateur fights. I mean, there's no way he had more than that. I mean, he doesn't have. He basically lacks the basics, just like your regular reality star like Jake Paul lacks the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just his last name happens to be Fury, but he's not like Huey or like Tyson, where you can see there's a boxing pedigree there and they've been doing it a long time. Call me wrong here. Am I wrong or am I right? I mean, this guy's a reality star. He's not a boxer.
Before I let you go, Conor McGregor, a guy that you got a bit of history with. We all saw what happened in his last fight with Dustin Poirier. We don't know what happens with him next. Are you still interested in that? Is that something you'd still like to do?
I don't know, but going back to Fury and Jake Paul, it's a 50-50 fight, mind you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because they're just as much of a boxer as the other. It's not like one more of a boxer than the other. It's like, I still don't think Jake Paul's fighting a real boxer. Tommy Fury is just as much of a boxer as Jake Paul is a boxer. But now going back to McGregor, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm actively looking for anything or interested in it. I honestly, man, the older I get, the less I want to train, man. You know what I mean? When I trained for Cori B, like, it was very sporadic. I did some road work. I did a week in the gym at the end of the whole camp. It was very sporadic. I don't know that I would be able to get through a whole training camp, man. At my age, it's just like the desire to train every day isn't there. I mean, maybe a lot of money motivates you in different ways, but I'm getting treated pretty well with the guys I'm with right now. You know, Boxer is a good company. Pro Box Promotions that I'm going to be working with in the new year is a good company. BlueMoonFight.tv is a good company. They're treating me very well. In order to do a training camp, I would have to go away from my responsibilities with these companies, which I love doing, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I love like doing this kind of stuff. It's not, to me, it's not even work. So I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. Plus, Conor McGregor gets his ass whooped every fight. Is it even that good of a fight anymore? Like, has he won a fight? I mean, he beat Cerrone, but since I think Cerrone's the only fighter he beat since the Obama era. That reporter asked him. I mean, Obama's 2 presidents ago now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a long time. I don't know, bro. He's terrific. I mean, and I'll tell you what's terrific about him. The only consistent loser that still draws a crowd. I mean, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. You can be that much of a loser and still draw a crowd. I mean, fucking, if I had a hat, I'd take my hat off to him. The fucking piñata. You're known more as a piñata than you are a winner. And you still got this kind of following. I don't know if it says more about society or if it goes more to say about how brilliant he is. But nonetheless, I don't know, it'd be very hard for me to get up to train for a fight. I've got a lot of good things going on.
Paulie, we'd love to sit here and carry on talking to you, but we've got to continue with the press conference. We hope you enjoy your stay in the UK. Look forward to speaking to you on Saturday night. Thank you for talking to Lights Out.
My pleasure, and always enjoy being back in the UK. It's been a while. I'm back.